Flores was there again.
You know, Mike Flores is showing that he's more than just a pass rusher. He did have some 84 tackles on the season. He showed a lot of speed out there, running stride for stride with Anderson, pulling him down for no gain.
Mike Flores, number 96, the 6'3", 246-pound senior. We asked him about the wingspan. He didn't know what his wingspan was, and so we said, well, what about your tie shirt? He said, you know, what size tie shirt do you buy? And he said, I buy extra large, and then I try them on to see if they fit. So it was no help. He was no help at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Third down. And Hollingsworth overthrows everybody. It'll be fourth down. Gene Stallings, the head coach, a very popular figure here in Tempe, of course, the former head coach of the Cardinals. And one of the reasons he was so popular, he had a commercial that he did here for a bank locally, and he did one of them with his mother. And everybody loved that commercial.
Quite a family man. It was very impressive at the banquet. He made it a point to have his family stand up and be introduced. There was a bunch of them, too.
Yep. Tank Williamson now. He'll be kicking to Joy Smith. Almost blocked. And Smith will let it go. It takes an Alabama roll. But for the second time in the ball game, the Louisville defense has held the Crimson Tide. 50 yards on the kick and the roll. And here is Pat Fitzgerald as he almost gets the block. No score. We'll be back in a moment.
Who's got the marketing plan? I do. Sales forecast.
Right here.
Presentation boards?
Murphy's got
Where's Murphy?
This is the final boarding call for Delta Flight 6.
Maddie Klein knows careers are writing on Delta flights.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes. We better go.
Nobody told me you had a cast.
Nobody knew.
Our passengers should now be on board.
Maybe that's why more business people fly Delta than ever before.
Mr. Murphy, you have a nice trip.
Thanks. Already had one.
Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legends set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
It seems that every time you turn around these days, another pain reliever with ibuprofen in it is comparing itself to Tylenol. But you know what they can't say? They can't say they're gentler than Tylenol, because they're not. Tylenol won't irritate your stomach the way ibuprofen sometimes can. That's a medical fact. And is it any wonder that today hospitals use Tylenol 14 times more than ibuprofen? Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
It's a primetime showdown at the Federal Express Orange Bowl as #1 Colorado battles Notre Dame to decide the national championship tonight on NBC.
Fans at home might be wondering why this wasn't roughing the punter. Take a look at Tom Cavallo. He takes the exact right angle. So if he blocks the punt, he misses him. Look, he never gets touched. Tank Williamson goes down trying to draw the charge or maybe the Golden Globe Award, but he got neither.
And there is Cavallo, number 41. And the Cardinals have the ball first down at their own 27-yard line. AC in motion. That's Cummings, and they give to the right side. Is Pete Bynum. And we now have a final in the Citrus Bowl. Number 2 Georgia Tech, 45. Number 19 Nebraska, 21.
I can tell you right now, if Colorado were to beat Notre Dame, Georgia Tech would be the first people screaming about 5 downs in Missouri.
I think it's time to put the 5th down controversy to bed. I really do, because they spiked the ball thinking that it was 3rd, thinking they were going to the 4th. It's an official's mistake and not a team mistake. Play action. Juggled and then caught, and here goes Latrell Ware. 70 yards, touchdown Louisville.
Charlie, we had talked about earlier how Alabama is going to have to get out of that zone defense. Browning Nagel with a gun for an arm is able to put it right in the seam. doing an outstanding job of reading that defense. This is an out and up or a swing route, depending upon your terminology, that is run here by Latrell Ware.
And Wilsmeyer will attempt the extra point. High snap, but it is brought down by the holder, Greg Brom, and it is good. And Louisville leads 7-0.
Take a look at the arm of Nagel as he's able to gun it right in there. Right in the middle of the seam, you see the dive. He doesn't have him man for man. Look, there's nobody over there, so he can bobble it. He's got plenty of time to get it. But when Ephraim Thomas misses the tackle, he is long gone. Touchdown Cardinals. They're up 7-0. We'll be back.
Happy New Year, everybody, from Tommy Lasorda. This is how I looked before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months with the Ultra Slim Fast plan. But look at me now. The best part isn't how good I look, but how great I feel. And you know, Ultra Slim Fast is such a healthy diet. The best resolution you can make is to lose weight with Ultra Slim Fast. If you do, I know it will be a great year for you too.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
The engineers at Acura have made a remarkable discovery. A truly extraordinary car is like a truly extraordinary journey. To achieve it, you have to get off the beaten path. The 1991 Acura Integra.
Dean Witter believed in priorities.
Know why your clients are saving. Know why they're investing.
Okay, come on, folks.
At some point, it's college. Later on, retirement. But Dean Witter knows that often the highest priorities are all the things that happen in between.
Is there anything else you want?
Just the first dance.
There are many ways to measure success.
We measure success one investor at a time.
The Oilers, the Bengals, the AFC wildcard game. Sunday.
We have just had a sun-kissed Fiesta Bowl record tied. The longest pass reception prior to this ball game, Alvin Moore, Arizona State against Oklahoma, 1983. From Todd Hahn, 70 yards and not a touchdown. This 70 yards and a touchdown.
Charlie, I know everybody's excited about Dan McGuire as a prospect as a quarterback, as well as some others, but they better take a look at Browning. Look at this. I love this.
Yes. There's not an official name for that. We checked to see if there was an official name for that. I think you could call it the Cardinal Stomp. We'll name it.
It's kind of funky. I like it.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will kick off. Alabama with 3 deep. And taken at the 5-yard line by Robert Jones. And Jones will be ridden down at around the 17-yard line by David Moeller. Stay tuned on NBC. Watch CU make Irish Orange Juice. And of course, Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg.
Wait a minute. OJ didn't go to Notre Dame.
No, but OJ would be on the sideline of the Orange Bowl.
Oh, that's what that means.
That's what
okay.
Oh, yes. The man has a legend of fans, legion of fans. Actually, a legend of fans, too. According to the truth about it. And, of course, the Orange Bowl follows the Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl. Alabama now trailing 7-0. And Chris Anderson gets the call, and he is stopped by Gangwer and Ted Washington. Ted Washington, number 99, 6'5", a 308-pound senior, and you played against his father. Yeah, and when I found this out, Todd could not believe it.
Well, I thought you were messing with me.
No,
you're always trying to make me feel old, and there it was. And sure enough, Ted Washington, a great linebacker for the Houston Oilers.
From 73 to 82.
I have the dents on my body to prove that man can hit. So can his son.
Second down. Here is Anderson on the counter. And he battles his way out to the 24-yard line, and a flag is down. Oh, there's a fumble underneath. And Louisville comes up with the ball. You can paint the afternoon red, but it is Cardinal red as we'll take another look.
Well, he cuts back right here, and right there you can see he's trying to shift from the right to the left. The ball comes up, hustling over there. Can't see, is that Buchanan?
Yes.
Sure enough. That's only the 9th fumble that Louisville has recovered this year, but it's apropos that it would be Buchanan because he is the big play man in their secondary. He's their punt blocker, field goal blocker. This man can play. He's the young man who wanted to play wide receiver and initially was very irritated that he had to be moved to safety, but now I'm sure he's very glad because he's one of the leaders for the Louisville Cardinal defense.
Mel Mills caused the fumble. And Nagel will try to capitalize immediately, and he goes to Curtis Lipsy. And Lipsy goes to the 18-yard line, where it'll be second down.
Granted, we're early in the game, but I think it's important here for the Alabama defense to assert itself and make Louisville kick a field goal. Because if they go in with 2 touchdowns up, the way the momentum has definitely shifted to the side of the Cardinals, and Bama could be out of this game early.
And this time Louisville sets up with the no huddle, forcing Alabama to stay in the defense or stay with the personnel that they have, and then he takes his time to make his call, and he gives to Lipsy, and he goes over the right side. It was second down and a little over 2 to go for the first down. Antonio London, who is starting at right linebacker in place of Spencer Hammond, who has the knee injury, is there to make the tackle at the 16. Third down, about half a yard.
This could be an interesting call. I wouldn't be surprised to see them throw into the end zone.
Play action fake into the end zone.
Yeah, this is 4-down territory. What the heck? Boy, it's easy to do it up here, isn't it? But Coach heard me say that, they'd go nuts.
5.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Louisville leads 7-0. Now trying to capitalize on the turnover. And the Alabama defense is there. Lipsy, the ball carrier, and Byron Holbrooks, the senior from Haleyville, Alabama, makes the play at the 20-yard line. A loss of 4. It'll be 4th down.
Big play. Big play for the Alabama defense. They needed to stop right here. You can see right there, he gets away from the pulling guard, shows the quickness, inordinate quickness for a man 270 pounds, stuffs the play where it stands. Now it forces Louisville to attempt a field goal.
And Klaus Wilmsmeyer will attempt a 37-yard field goal. He was not supposed to kick field goals today. He's been bothered by a nerve injury in the groin area. And now we have contact and an exchange of punches. And in the heat of battle, the nice thing I liked about it, you had the exchange of punches, though, and then everybody stepped away, and it didn't become a giant pushing and shoving contest.
Yeah, but nonetheless, this is a critical mistake by the Alabama defense. If indeed it is against them, that will give Louisville a first down.
Dead ball foul. Dead ball foul. Offsides. Defense. First down.
We believe it's number 79. Let's see if it's Holbrook.
Right after he makes a big play, now he makes a big mistake. Anxious to try and make the play, but right there, you have to be conscious of the fact that, hey, we've had a victory here. We gave up a turnover on our 20-yard line. We held. Blocking the field goal would be gravy. Just making them kick was good enough, and now it's cost them. Now Louisville's going to have another shot at a touchdown.
First down at the 15-yard line. And a throwback pass to the quarterback. High, wobbly. He pulls it in. He had to wait on it too long. Lipsy to Nagel, and Antonio London was able to get out there. I'll tell you one thing. Nagel's got a great arm. Lipsy doesn't.
This looked like a sandpiper with sand on his wings. Watch this thing go end over end. I mean, Joe Kapp would throw this ball away. Look at that. Look at the trajectory. Look at the way that ball goes back and forth.
If Nagel had a lot of smarts, he'd signal for a fair catch.
I tell you what, that was actually a pretty good catch. That is a hard ball to catch, and of course, Nagel's not normally a receiver. That's actually a pretty good play.
Second down and a couple, a gain of 8. And Nagel rolls to throw. He wants to set up a screen. He was giving a lot of ground. The screen was not there. A flag is down. Cummings, the nearest possible receiver. Four minutes and 20 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. It's Louisville 7 on a Nagel to Ware's 70-yard touchdown pass. That came at the 7:35 mark.
We have clipping on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
And we now have a final on the Cotton Bowl. Miami 46 and Texas 3. Woo.
Not exactly the great game that anticipated, was it?
No, it'll be a very sad evening in Austin. 6 in the secondary now for Alabama. Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach of Louisville. I asked him, remember when he visited me, I said, you know, is this a crusade? And he said no, and he took 30 minutes to tell us why it wasn't, which therefore, of course, meant that it was. Exactly. But it is. It's the tradition of Alabama. They expect to be in the bowl games. The dream of Louisville. In 5+ years, he has really rebuilt this program. And
one of the things that I noticed, too, that when you talked about whether or not they're ready for big-time college football, boy, did he have an answer. He had a giant-sized chip on his. In fact, it was a building, not a chip.
Dawkins inside the 10. Dawkins to the 5-yard line. He needed 17. He got 18, and that should be first down and goal to go, but we may have to check out a measurement.
Charlie, far be it from me to be critical of the defense of Alabama, but after a 15-yard penalty like that, you're content to let them get 10 or 15 yards and kick the field goal. Right there, Alabama went with an all-out blitz. They came with 8, and there was absolutely nobody on Dawkins when he went out in the flat.
Nagel now 7 of 11, 165 yards already, still with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 165 yards in the first 11 minutes of the ball game.
Those are Detmer-like numbers.
Heisman-like numbers. And here is Dawkins for the corner, and he's got it. .340 left to go in the first, and Louisville up 13-0 with the extra point to come.
Charlie, Anthony Cummings is usually the guy that makes the catches in the end zone, but he had a terrific block on the corner man there that sprung him to get him into the end zone. Boy, that was a nice block by the little man.
Wilmsmeyer with the extra point. And it is blocked. And I believe, was it Holbrooks? Holbrooks has been the star, the GOAT, and the star again as Holbrooks blocked the extra point attempt. He had blocked 2 field goals during the regular season, so he is used to being there.
Watch the arm over right there. He gets between the guard and center gap right in the middle of your field, number 79. Great play there by Holbrooks. Now you're going to get a chance to see from ground level. Coming up, if you can see to the left of your screen, watch who's on top of number 5. You'll see it right there going down. Anthony Cummings making a great block, enabling Dawkins to get into the end zone to put Louisville up by 2 touchdowns. First time Alabama's given up 2 in the first.
Recently, Acura introduced what many have called the greatest sports car the world has ever known. Our latest idea is somewhat bigger. The new Acura Legend.
Hello?
Mr. O'Reilly, this is the MCI operator. I have a call from New York.
Hi, Uncle Mike.
Trish?
I have a little surprise for you.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I have a call from New York and San Diego.
Hello?
A call from the United States for Seamus O'Reilly.
I'll try and find him.
He's in Ireland.
This is Meg O'Reilly.
Sarge, line 1. O'Reilly.
You're still chasing the bad guy, Sean.
Who is it?
It's everybody. I can't believe this.
Hello?
Seamus!
Who's this?
Happy New Year, Seamus!
Should old acquaintance be forgot one day my heart?
For old lang syne, we'll take a cup of pine.
The nightmare that kept you awake as a kid is back.
Hope you like this freak palace.
Say goodbye to your pleasant dreams.
You're going to be quite surprised when you see this.
There's no one here.
There was.
A mystery as good as this happens only twice in a lifetime.
I have come home.
Dark Shadows, the movie, coming to NBC.
above the score. Bring your own graphics. Mom and Dad, Nagel's biggest cheerleaders. And what a game he is having, 165 yards already. And what did his coach say about it?
Isn't that interesting that when we were talking with Howard Schnellenberger, somebody who's coached a quarterback or two at his time, he was saying that this young man is as good as Jim Kelly. Now that is saying an awful lot, but of course this first quarter kind of proving the point, isn't it?
And when he made that statement, everybody looked at each other. Yeah, sure, right. Yeah, sure, right. Well, he is right. He's a very good singer, too. He has a record out. All right, here's the kick. And Robert Jones. Jones to 15, the 20. Across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's go down to Tom Hammond.
Charlie, you're talking about Howard Schnellenberger and his comparing Browning Nagel to Jim Kelly. Schnellenberger does know about good quarterbacks. His first experience with a great one was when he was on the Alabama staff. He went to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania for several days, took Joe Namath by the hand and brought him to Tuscaloosa. He said he used all his money, all his clothes when they got off the plane. He was carrying the bags. He looked like the recruit. Namath looked like the coach. Took him over to practice. Bear Bryant invited him to the tower. That's when they knew how great Joe Namath was going to be.
And I can see Joe doing it. And you know that it happened just the way that Tom told it. Backward to throw. The pass is complete to Turner. And he goes to the 33-yard line, where Reggie Johnson makes the tackle. We alluded to the quarterbacks that Howard Schnellenberger has worked with. Joe Namath, Owen Gabriel, Bob Greasy, Jim Kelly, Kozar and Testaverde. That's a pretty good half dozen.
Not a bad group there, yeah. Hall of Famers and Heisman Trophy winners, and he said that Nagel's as good as some of those. Wow. High praise indeed.
Second down. And on the draw, here's Turner. Turner to the 45. Whoa. Back pedals, 49-yard line of Louisville. First time that Alabama has been in Louisville territory, and a gain of 18 yards on the play. Ricky Mcfadden with the tackle.
Oh, well, if Ricky Mcfadden with the tackle, it must have been some 8 yards. Take a look at what happens to Ricky Mcfadden. Good job blocking downfield, getting Sander out of the play. Now watch 39 come up and take the forearm. Ouch! Right over the top of him. If he got the tackle, he got it with his foot because he ran right over it.
And William Barger with the key block, the offensive guard for Alabama. Little play action fake. Pass is complete left side to Martin Houston.
Number 35, Martin Houston.
Gainey makes the tackle on the play. And for Houston, that is only his 9th reception of the year. Had 8 during the regular season.
We'll give Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide, some credit right here. Their first 2 series they go absolutely nowhere. Now they adjust a little bit with some draws, some short passes out in the flat, not taking too many chances. But with the one big draw play now, they're heading into scoring territory.
Louisville wanted to take them out of the run mode and force them into the pass mode. But Alabama has been able to be successful in this drive in both areas. Little play action fake. Puts this one up for grabs. It's intercepted. Should not have thrown this one. William Blackford with the interception.
That's the very thing that has plagued Gary Hollingsworth all year. He had only 4 touchdown passes this season, but 14 interceptions. Flores doesn't buy the bootleg fake, and he doesn't want to get sacked, so he throws quickly. Blackford with a diving catch. Terrific snag. Usually you don't have defensive backs with those kind of hands, but man, I guess it's those tackified gloves, because once again, terrific catch.
And so Louisville leading in the ball game by a score of 13-0. Move again on offense from their own 23-yard line.
That's great when you take all those congratulations. Your hand can get sore. Because, man, they got some 90 players down there all come over to slap his hand.
Incomplete. Behind Fred Jones. And in case you're wondering, we still have 1:49 left to go in the first quarter.
Ephraim Thomas almost returned the favor there. They're all SEC safety. Anticipated that slant route and almost came up with the interception.
And again, the no-huddle set, forcing Alabama to go with the players that they have on the field, keeping them out of their substitutions that they like to make. Play action fake by Nagel. Lots of time. Buys a little bit more. And the pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Just as well that this was incomplete because the center, Kerry Figg, was at least 5 yards downfield, so that actually saved them a penalty by having that pass come up incomplete.
7 of 13, 165 yards, a touchdown and an interception.
One of the things I like about Browning Nagel, Charlie, is he seems to see the field. He's able to come off his first receiver well. On a collegiate level, that's one of the most difficult things for a quarterback, is to be able to go to your second and third receivers, and he seems to do a very good job of that.
Alabama now with 7 in the secondary. And a 3-man rush. And he goes deep, double coverage, caught at the 45-yard line. Fred Jones. First down.
Charlie, you're exactly right. That was double coverage. What a terrific throw by Nagel. He told us that Freddie Jones is probably their best receiver. Look at the outside route. They got somebody on the outside, somebody on the inside, but the man on the inside doesn't get out quick enough, and Jones is able to make it out there, jump for the catch. Terrific throw by Nagel.
And a gain of 22 to the 45-yard line.
Freddie Jones is complaining over the fact that every time they seem to get inside the 30 or the 20, Anthony Cummings comes in for him and takes those touchdowns away from him.
Pete Bynum. And from Thomas stops him after 18. And so the Cardinals with 22 yards and 18 yards on the last 2 plays. Back-to-back first down.
Everything is going their way. Look at the right side of the defense. Look at how Holbrook was pushed off the line. Now watch Ephraim Thomas come up and take that forearm. Ouch. Look at how fired up that sideline of Louisville is.
And we still have 1:06 left to go in the first quarter.
How can that be pronounced Bynum?
Because that's the way his brother and dad pronounced it.
Oh. All right.
You're not going to trap me on that.
Okay.
Incomplete. McKay, the intended receiver. First down. Louisville 8 and Alabama 1.
Sometimes statistics lie, but there they don't. It's been an offensive show for Louisville thus far. There's the man that has to be wondering what's going on with his defense.
And we have officials whistle.
I'm wondering myself, I didn't see any debris and I didn't see the play clock going down.
And don't forget, immediately following the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, we'll be going to Miami. And the battle for number 1. Colorado and Notre Dame. The play action fake. And what an arm this kid has got. And it is caught. Anthony Cummings. 37 yards. AC has the touchdown as today he celebrates his 23rd birthday.
It's the Browning Nagel show. They didn't call it right. I know it's the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, but my goodness. Browning Nagel already throwing for over 200 yards, and now, what a statistic for Anthony Cummings. That is his 101st catch and 26th touchdown. Going into this game, he had a touchdown for every 4 catches. Look at that. What a throw on the post pattern by Nagel.
And now you know, as you watch the end of the play, why it is called a post pattern.
Boy. Doggone it, I wished I'd have said that.
I know.
Oh, boy. Browning Nagel airing it all out, proving that Louisville does belong in big-time college football. Now they have to go for 2 because of the blocked extra point.
54 seconds is the time remaining in the first quarter.
Eyes up, move those feet, here they come. Hold them out.
He had everybody covered, just kind of throwing this up with a hope and a prayer.
Well, that's one of the few incompletions that he's had. One of the problems. Take a look right here. Post pattern. Free safety goes out right there. You see Ephraim Thomas looking in the backfield, and there he is. The middle of the field is wide open, and Cummings with his 4.5 speed is heading directly to the post. Watch the catch. Watch the collision. Yes, he holds on. Thank goodness for that padding. You get a chance to see it up close right here. Take some serious contact. Oh. Thank goodness for those shoulder pads.
When we asked AC how tall he was, he said 5'7". No, 5'8". 5'8".
Tall enough, baby.
Officially 5'8", 176. And his coaches say he's the luckiest receiver in the world. He is always there when we make the big play. Tells you something.
Well, we get a chance now to get to see the graphic that I mentioned earlier regarding his ratio of touchdowns to catches over his career here. Look at that. His 25 touchdowns, now 26 is a school record there at Louisville, which, considering the fact that they have had the likes of people like Mark Clayton and Ernest Gibbons, a pretty significant record.
19-0, most points in a quarter this season for the Cardinals of Louisville.
I have no doubt it's also the most given up by the Bama team.
And here is Anderson on the return from the goal line. And he is out to the 19-yard line. Ray Buchanan makes the tackle. And the celebration has started along the Louisville bench.
There's some heartbeats down there going about 150 a minute right now. Every one of those guys, they are fired up. Believe me. They didn't talk about things like just the game. They talked about the university. They talked about state pride, for goodness sakes, when it comes to Kentucky and football.
And these seniors who have been through some very hard times under this coach, I mean, he really weeded them out early. And through some struggling years, and now a chance to have this kind of a game. The pass to Turner from Hollingsworth is incomplete. And it'll be second down and 10 for Bama at their own 18-yard line.
Hard to believe we're still in the first quarter.
Second and 10 from the 18-yard line.
And the Tide, basically a running team, and now they'll have to come out throwing. Hollingsworth, 3 of 7, 24 yards and an interception.
Charlie, you have to feel a little bit sorry for Gary Hollingsworth. Last year, he was the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year, throwing for more than 2,000 yards. In fact, he was named Alabama's quarterback of the decade in the 1980s. But then he comes into this season, both wide receivers get hurt. One of his great receivers out of the backfield, Saran Stacy, gets hurt. And they have their starting left offensive tackle get hurt as well.
And he overthrows it, and it is dropped by a defender. Ricky Mcfadden had the interception right in his arms, and it is incomplete. He overthrew Lamont Russell. 3rd and 10, back at the 18.
Well, Alabama got lucky here. This is right in his arms. Easy interception. Oh, boy. Here you get a chance to look at the lost starters that happened to Alabama right at the very beginning. Saran Stacy in the first game in games 2, 3, and 4. You can see the starting receivers and Chris Robinette, a very key offensive lineman for Alabama. Hence the reason why they started the season 0-3.
Third and 10. And Hollingsworth is sacked by Mike Flores. And that is the second sack for number 96, this young, budding artist who hopes to go to work after graduation from Walt Disney and do character.
Now that gives him a chance. He now has broken the school record. That's his 16th sack and breaks his own record, which was 14 last season. Look at him coming on what they call a limbo. He comes to the inside while the defensive tackle goes to the outside, pulling Hollingsworth down for his second sack of the game.
And he is painting a defensive masterpiece here. Here's pressure, and it's blocked. Touchdown, Louisville.
Ray Buchanan, we had mentioned earlier, one of the big men and big play people for the Louisville Cardinals, comes up with the touchdown, but he's not the one that came up with the block. Let's see if we can get a chance to see it. The man that blocked it there, I believe, was number 28. That would be Rene Coutu. Here you get a chance to see from the middle. Coming, look at it, laying out, just giving up his body. Bounces, what a fortuitous bounce. I'm sorry, the block was made by Ricky Mcfadden, the one who was run over earlier. Tremendous play by Mcfadden. Buchanan gets the gravy. Touchdown again for the Cardinals. The first quarter is even over yet. There's still a second left.
The Bama fans had to figure, will it ever end? And Louisville goes for 2. Swing pass right flat. And Dawkins does not go in. And the score remains Louisville 25, Alabama nothing with 1 second to go, first quarter.
Small consolation, but that was a nice tackle there by George Teague to keep him out of the end zone. I don't know if that's anything to build on, but Alabama right now has to be struggling. There's no doubt that early on, Louisville wanted this one much more than Alabama did. It was much more important to them. You know, when I addressed the point to Gene Stallings during the week, I said, is Alabama suffering a letdown? Did they put all their season on the Auburn game? Was that the most important thing? And he says, no, I think that they're going to come out and play well, but clearly, Charlie, Alabama is not as fired up as Louisville coming into this.
The Louisville Cardinals 25. The Crimson Tide of Alabama nothing with 1 second to go.
Number 33.
In the first quarter.
And number 40, Lorenzo Cole.
It's funny, Coach Schnellenberger took us through the scenario that it would take for the possibility of Louisville possibly being the #1 team. You know, one of those things where you go all the way down, so-and-so loses. I'm trying to remember all that was.
I know, but one of them was Georgia Tech had to lose. They didn't lose.
That's right.
So.
Okay, well, that one
so
doesn't
you can
count.
forget that.
Okay, yeah.
1 second to go in the first quarter.
I got it. The Louisville Lindy.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
Okay. It's yours.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will be kicking off. And it is taken by Cole at the 18-yard line. And as he returns, the first quarter comes to a close. In the first quarter, Browning Nagel, the Louisville quarterback, 9 of 16. He threw for 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
The product. The proving grounds. The results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
From the producer of The Hunt for Red October, from the best-selling novel by Stephen Kuntz, comes the epic adventure of men who took a stand for what they knew was right.
Get in your airplane and sometimes you don't come back.
Danny Glover.
All we really got is each other.
Willem Dafoe.
We never broke the faith, amigo.
Brad Johnson. Flight of the Intruder. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 18th at theaters everywhere.
Louisville is emerging as a major center for healthcare services. Our teaching hospital created the first trauma care center in the nation in 1911.
I couldn't be any better prepared. I've learned from some of the best doctors in medicine.
The university faculty staff one of the 25 major transplant centers in the United States. The Speed Scientific Engineering School produces students in demand. A 5-year master's program features extensive cooperative education.
I could have gone to any school, but I made a great choice coming to U of L.
These real-life challenges attract the best and the brightest, but the university sees a broader picture. We are committed to developing potential.
I'm determined to get my degree. I'm going to make things happen.
The University of Louisville, an experience in diversity.
Welcome back to the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Louisville leading 25-0. That is a Fiesta Bowl scoring record. Here is the pitch and the counter by Anderson. And he will go to about the 39-yard line. You'll take a look at the statistics in the first half. That 25 points, as I said, a record. That is a record for 2 teams scoring in the first quarter.
Amazing. The big statistic there is the yards passing. 230 passing yards in 1 quarter. There's no way Browning Nagel could have even dreamed it would be like this.
Oh, you can dream, but usually those kind of dreams don't come true.
Well, from the number of crunchers out there, that figures out to about 900 yards passing. That ain't gonna happen.
Second down.
Ball carrier,
Kevin Turner, the ball carrier. Pat Fitzgerald and Dan Ganger were both there.
Balls on the 39-yard line.
The ball at the 39, and it's 3rd down and 3.
You can see Ed Reynolds in there at middle linebacker, number 43 for Mark Santa. They're definitely trying to rest him, take good care of that knife wound, give him some time. He figures he's going to play about 30, 40 plays.
Hollingsworth's pass is complete to Lamont Russell, and Alabama has the first down. John Gainey with a stop. Russell, now weighing just over 200 pounds. When he came in this season, he had bulked up to 220. He told us he was going to be a tight end. He said that 213 is wrong. Now it's closer to 200. He said, I had to lose 20 pounds. I said, well, how did you do it? We all want to lose 20 pounds. He said, I cut out late night snacks of ice cream. And he said, that did it.
Well, he has some amazing discipline, let me tell you.
And here is Anderson.
You know, getting back to Lamont Russell, he reminds me a little bit of Ozzie Newsome when he was there at Alabama. Ozzie Newsome was also a bit of a tweener when he came in, right around 200, 205 pounds. He bulked up a little bit to get to the Cleveland Browns, and as a tight end, I guess you'd say he's had a reasonable career.
Looking towards that Hall of Fame, I hope to shout he's had a reasonable career. Russell, by the way, his birthday was yesterday. He was 23 years old yesterday. And he and AC, we mentioned his birthday earlier, were both serenade at the U.S. West Sunkist Fiesta Bowl kickoff luncheon. 3,000 people joining in. And here is Derek Lassick, the ball carrier.
And they were afforded to listen to your dulcet tones as a singer, not just a broadcaster.
So bad. No, actually, what happened is that Browning Nagel, the quarterback of Louisville.
But you had a microphone. You were singing.
No, I gave it to.
That's the first.
Gave it to Browning.
And truthfully, that's the first banquet I've ever been to where I actually saw people throw vegetables. I was very disappointed.
Well, they were throwing them at you.
Oh, yeah, right.
3rd down and 2. And you can tell the happy smile from the Louisville cheerleaders.
And the not so happy look on Gene Stallings' face.
Russell, the intended receiver. Lassick was also in the area.
Certainly it's extremely early, but gee, you might want to think about going for it. You want to give this Louisville team the ball back as hot as they are right now?
I think you have to punt it, though, and put the pressure in your defense, because the defense has certainly played well for Alabama this year. Joey Smith, the return man. He takes it back at the 5-yard line. Makes a couple of nice in-and-out moves. The flag is down. There may have been a face mask. He picked up 4 yards on the return following that 42-yard kick. Eric Washington was there for Alabama.
It'll be interesting to see the adjustments they make on defense going into this game as we get the call.
On the defense, they have a 5-yard face mask. Be 1st down.
Right here to cut up the field, trying to make the tackle, reaching with whatever he can grab. It's incidental right there as he pulls him down. He's got only the 5-yard penalty. Everything seems to be going Louisville's way right about now.
All I had was a salad and a little dressing to make it taste good. That's hardly any calories.
I only had broiled fish for lunch. That's not fattening.
Just broccoli with a little butter. It's nothing.
Hey, if you're gonna eat light, then do it right. With a squeeze of fresh sun-kissed lemon. You get a lot of flavor, not a lot of calories. Sun-kissed lemon. You can count on it for flavor. You have our word on it.
They go by names like Chapel Lane, California Highway 1, and the Great White Way. Roads that start out in small towns like Pottersville and lead you to bigger towns like Pumpkin Corners. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory all across America. And every day, with every car nationwide, only Alamo gives you all those miles for free through a country we call America, to the place we call home.
Now you can enjoy the drink that's been on every Russian space mission. Sputnik, made with 10% real beet juice and 20...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and...
I'm a smoker, but in my office, it doesn't work. No problem. I chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
That cool, clean taste fits any agenda. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
The 1991 Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by the Sunkist family of fresh citrus. It's the highest in quality. You have our word on it. By Xerox, the document company. By Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nobody's cooking like today's KFC. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Jeff Brom is now the quarterback for Louisville. Now, he always comes into the second quarter for a couple of series. And he gives to Curtis Lipsy. Now let's go down to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, she was a cheerleader for the Montreal Alouettes of the CFL when she met her husband. This is Mrs. Beverly Schnellenberger. She's been down on the sideline sweating out every play. Did you expect anything like this?
I really didn't, Tom. I just didn't expect this kind of a 25-0. But you have to be careful. The mighty Alabama can strike any time we have 3 more quarters.
Did you think that your husband could turn it around when he took the job at Louisville? A lot of people said it was a no-win situation.
No doubt about it. He turned it around before. He can turn it around again and again and again. I had always had confidence in him, and a lot of people did behind him.
Speaking of turning around, you know, maybe it's this lucky jacket you have on. Could you turn around and show us the back of this jacket? So far, it's worked. Charlie?
And while that was working, Jeff Brom was brought down by Whammy Ward, but not before he picked up the first down.
I'll tell you why that works. That's a Cardinal with teeth, and definitely today. You know, I've seen all those before, you know, the St. Louis Cardinals and some of the other Cardinals that I've seen. That's the first one I've seen with teeth.
And here's Pete Bynum.
They mean business. Definitely today they do.
11 minutes time remaining in the first half. In case you joined us late, you have missed a lot of fireworks. And they've all been on the Louisville side. The Cardinals lead Alabama by a score of 25-0.
You know, we get a chance there to look at Browning Nagel. I understand what they're doing and giving this young man a chance to play, but as hot as he was, maybe he's thinking, man, well, I got the hot hand. Let me keep going. Let me keep rolling sevens.
And he's brought down for a loss. Antonio London is the man who made the play in high school. He was a 6'8" high jumper.
Well, this is the inexperience of the quarterback right here. He's running out of time. He's a good scrambler. He's got good feet, but he, in effect, runs right into Antonio London. London makes a nice play right there, getting a big sack for Alabama. Now a 3rd and long.
And again, the Cardinals going very quickly without the huddle, forcing Alabama to go without their normal substitution. And he throws, and it is intercepted. Antonio Langham with the interception.
The big thing you notice here with Louisville with Brom at quarterback as opposed to Nagel is the rhythm and the speed of the way things go. With the 7-step drops, you can see that Nagel would go back and throw. Right here you can see he's biding his time, doesn't know quite where to go. He's out of sync, and right there he throws behind, running to his left. And a terrific interception there by Antonio Langham. Nice hands once again for the DB.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I smoke, but on this flight, cigarettes are grounded. My answer? Wrigley Spearmint Gum. And that cool, clean taste never lets me down. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Bit by bit, putting it together, piece by piece, the way to make an ideal work.
Behind every accomplishment is a document that bridges the gap between what can be and what will be.
Every moment's contribution, every detail plays a part. Putting it together.
Putting together documents that can change the world. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
Putting it together.
Got a painful cold? Gotta get relief? Get Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It relieves painful cold symptoms some others miss with a decongestant, antihistamine, and a pain reliever you can't find in any other leading cold medicine.
The pain's gone.
I can breathe.
Everything feels better, better, better.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
relief for your painful cold. And now for sinus and allergy relief, try new Alka-Seltzer Plus Sinus Allergy Medicine.
It's a primetime showdown at the Federal Express Orange Bowl as #1 Colorado battles Notre Dame to decide the national championship tonight on NBC.
In the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, it's Louisville 25, Alabama nothing. And Alabama with the ball just outside the 42-yard line of Louisville. And here is Junior Sewell, William Blackford with the tackle. And so Alabama's offense now starting to show some bits of life. Antonio Langham with that interception, he had a key one in the Tennessee game. So maybe the Tide can get on the board.
Parger and Hammond did a good job there of opening the gap there.
A gain of 13, first down at the 29-yard line.
It would be redundant to point this out, but I guess I'll do it anyway. They need to make this turnover into points. Down 25.
Hollingsworth, here's the screen. It is high but pulled down by Junior Sewell, and he is immediately pulled down by Ted Washington.
Ted Washington did a good job of spying in there. They're trying to set up the screen off to the left side, let their pass rushers come up the field, but Washington saw it all the way. 99 right over the center. Take a look at him right there. He's double teamed. He's watching the quarterback. He knows right there. Look at that. He took off before the ball was thrown. He knew it was a screen. That's an intelligent defensive lineman right there, spying things before they happen. Of course, he's got those terrific bloodlines. That explains it.
His dad, one of the great players in the NFL, playing for the Houston Oilers. Second down and 14. Play action fake, has time, steps away. He's going to run for it, heads for the sideline.
Ball carrier.
Not that bad a move for Gary Hollingsworth. Fitzgerald was chasing him for Louisville.
Once again, Mike Flores got in there and forces him out of the pocket.
When we talked with Hollingsworth, he was explaining how they send the signals into him at quarterback. They signal in the plays he carries on his wrist, the plays, and they're all numbered. And they have a system where you touch your ear, that's number 1. Your ear and your nose, that becomes 13. And they have a whole combination of flashing signs that signals in not the play, but the number that it is on his wrist.
So when you see right there, take a look at his wrist. When he looks up there, that's where he knows he has it. That's a very simplified system. I think that's a good idea.
It's a good system, isn't it? Third down and 9. Incomplete. Johnny Finkley, and it was very catchable.
Well, I think Hollingsworth could have thrown a little bit better. You can see the ball kind of wobble, but definitely that was a catchable ball. A little short on there by Donnie Finkley. Take a look at as he glides over. Look at how he kind of right there, instead of coming all the way over and using his chest to catch the ball, he tries to arm it as to avoid getting hit. As a result, they're forced into a field goal.
Field goal attempt from the 36, an attempt of 46 yards. Now Doyle, the consensus All-America kicker, has hit this year from 47. In his career, he has hit from 53, and they expect him to make these. And does he? No, he misses from 46 yards away. We've got a timeout, and Louisville has the big lead.
You've heard all about cold relief. Now you're going to hear about hot relief. New Tylenol Cold and Flu, with more medicine than any other hot liquid flu formula. Heat releases the power of this lemony medicine, with 3 cold and flu fighters for your coughing, sneezing, and congestion, plus Tylenol pain reliever for your fever, sore throat, aches, and pains. New Tylenol Cold and Flu, part of Tylenol's complete cold relief line. Nobody cares for your cold like Tylenol Cold.
You gotta do it for yourself. You gotta do it for your health. And when you take it off, you'll feel so good. When you live it like you know you should. It's a way of life. You're eating right now. Slim, fast way of life. You're looking good and feeling great. It's a slim, fast way of life.
This
is the day to join the 20 million Americans who are living the slim, fast way of life. It's the day to start taking off the weight and keeping it off for the rest of your life. This is the day to start the slim, fast way of life, so you'll feel healthier from the day you start losing the weight.
It's a way of life. It's a slim, fast way of life. You're looking good and feeling great. It's a slim, fast way of life.
A new unsolved mystery explores phone calls from the grave. Did she really die under a phony doctor's knife?
Judy Himes is alive.
Then get the story behind the story of Elvis Presley's prom date and the woman who dumped him. Plus, see shocking scenes of a mid-air crash into the Empire State Building. A special 2-hour unsolved mystery. The story behind the story on NBC Wednesday.
The quarterback for Louisville, number 11, Jeff Brom, sophomore. In high school, Mr. Football in Kentucky. He and his brother attended Louisville Trinity High School. 4-0 student, past president, recruited by the major schools across the country, and he is here as the future of Louisville. Here is Dawkins on the pitch. And Dawkins continues to do what his coach told us. He said, watch the yardage that he makes after there's been defensive contact.
He does a nice job of breaking tackles here. I like the way this young man runs. And certainly the Alabama defense has been softened up because of all the passing that's occurred in the first quarter. Take a look. The pull out here. It's a nice block here on London to push him to the outside. Cuts back. Now how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 tackles. He runs right through. 4, 5.
6, 7 before they get him down.
Terrific run.
14 yards to the 42, first down.
A lot of successful runners have that physique around 5'9", 207. There's a fellow in Detroit by the name of Sanders who has a similar physique.
And here is the reverse, and Alabama is there. And this is the reverse to his brother, Greg Brom. And I have a feeling Greg, after the handoff, looked up and said, why me?
I was going to say, that's all well and good to have family togetherness, but he just got hammered there. Both Langham and Thornton put the hit on him.
Steve Webb also there.
This isn't very well disguised. You can see that they're laying in wait for him. Ouch. Right there, he's airborne. He lands right on his left shoulder. You can see he's in a little bit of pain. That's a big man, Thornton, close to 300 pounds, landing on that shoulder.
And injury timeout, 7:49 left to go. First half, Louisville leads it 25-0.
Must have been squeezed and must have been kissed. She must have been to blush like this. What a sweet orange. It must be sun-kissed. Oh, sing on y'all. Sun-kissed, 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 sun-kissed. Cooey-la, she's a lucky miss. Sun-kissed, 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 sun-kissed. Cooey-la, what a lucky miss. Oh,
Do you believe in the existence of vampires?
Barnabas Collins is a man cursed.
The urge to take blood overcame me. Nothing could be worse than this.
Can one woman's love be strong enough to change him?
Let me help you.
I've lived trapped within this dark, monstrous shell.
I could give you a normal life.
What I would give.
He'll destroy you. He destroys everything he touches.
Dark Shadows, the motion picture, coming Sunday, January 13th to NBC.
The School of Music at the University of Alabama.
And here is Greg Brom, the sophomore from Louisville, who was shaken up and will have an injury report on him in just a moment. And his brother, the quarterback, and he is throwing this one away to avoid the loss. And now let's go down to Tom Hammond.
Charlie Spencer Hammond is normally a starting outside linebacker for Alabama. He's injured, not playing today. Are you shocked that you've been pushed all over the field, this great Alabama defense?
Yes, I'm very surprised to see that the defense is playing as poorly as it is. You know, coming into this ball game, I would have never imagined that we'd be down, you know, 25 to nothing right now. And right now, only thing that I can see that, the problem that we're having is there are some communication problems and with the coverages and the defenses that we're playing.
Charles Gardner's going to go the distance here with an interception. We're sorry about that, Tom Hammond. But a bad throw by Brom. An interception there. He goes all the way. Charles Gardner threw it right to him. This might have been the break just that Alabama needs. Look at that. He throws it right. There it is. Runs right past in the closing route. Because it was to the right side of the field, there are no Louisville Cardinals. At 48 yards, you can see Brom's the last guy there. He cuts back, and that's why he's on offense and not defense. Going all the way for Alabama to get their first score and quite possibly get them back in this. This is just what this team needed.
And the extra point attempt is good by Philip Doyle. And Louisville now leads 25-7. Charles Gardner with a touchdown. His birthday is November the 9th. Same as mine.
Introducing the most advanced Tegrin ever. New advanced formula Tegrin Dandruff Shampoo. Clinically shown to control the leading causes of itching and flaking. New richer, thicker, advanced formula Tegrin.
Aren't you just itching to try it?
So I took his word for it. This slick computer guy said he had the best solutions at the lowest prices. Should have known better. Now the thing is just sitting here. How can anyone say they have a computer solution when they haven't even seen my business? But you know, even though we didn't buy this computer at Microage, they're going to give us the training and service we should have gotten from the very start. Now that we know the score, next time we'll call them first.
Microage and AT&T Computer Systems. Network solutions for your business.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and one die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
I'm a second-half quarterback. Am I not?
Well, that was a stellar performance.
Super buckets.
Have some chicken. You look weak. His arm is weak. It's called aging.
From Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Trivia, guys. Who has the record for most fumbles? You mean before today?
15 pieces of chicken or a supersized bucket of hot wings, just $9.99 each.
Wait till the second half.
Yeah, all right, rally.
Anytime you're ready, gentlemen.
Super buckets from KFC.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, and Tom Hammond at the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. It is now Louisville 25 and Alabama 7 as Philip Doyle will be kicking off for the Crimson Tide. Joey Smith from the 6-yard line, the return man for Louisville. He is to the 20 and driven down at the 21-yard line by Eric Washington. And it is number 7, Browning Nagel, as expected, back in the ball game for the Cardinals. Let's go back to that interception.
Well, Tom Hammond's conversation with his counterpart Spencer Hammond, his namesake, might have been good luck for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who have not had much to cheer about. You can see Dawkins doesn't even see it. It's way behind him, and there's Gardner. He cuts off to the right, and there's nobody, absolutely nobody there but the quarterback who can't make the play. Now Alabama still down 18, but has something to cheer about.
And Louisville has the ball at their own 21-yard line. And Nagel is looking right into the sun. Swings this one out right side. Pass is complete to Lipsy. And Lipsy is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A gain of 15. And the Louisville juggernaut, when led by Browning Nagel, continues to roll. It is the Nagel show.
Charlie, we knew coming in that the big issue here, the big debate would be whether or not Browning Nagel could throw against this Alabama pass defense, which is ranked #1 in the nation. They've only given up an average of 138 per game, and now today already, Louisville, I think that's, I'm not sure that's right.
That's for the team. Stats. Nagel is thrown for 237.
Wow.
10 of 17, 237, 2 touchdowns and an interception, and he has a first down here. And a fumble on the exchange. Nagel, was it Nagel that picked it up? Somebody got a hold of it.
Dawkins was heads
Dawkins
up there.
I believe, yeah.
Not only did he get the fumble, he got a couple of yards sticking his nose in there. Fumble snap from center. You know what? I know it's all well and good to get Brom in there and get him a couple of series, but you can see right there, fumbled snap. Nagel got cold. And let's face it, in the first quarter, he was hot as hot could be. Maybe they should have done that at the end of the first half as opposed to then, because right now it looks like Nagel's just a little bit disoriented.
Gain of 2, second down and 8. Nagel, a little play action fake, and his intended receiver slips down. That's Fred Jones. Mark Mcfadden had the coverage, and Jones stays down. He may be injured on the far side at about the 48-yard line.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. That was a good throw by Nagel, but as you mentioned, Jones is going down. Watch where, as he falls down, watch where the pass is. Pass would have been right on the money if he could have stayed up, but his face hits and then rolled over the top of him. His neck got caught up in the knee there of McMillan.
Anthony Cummings, AC, comes in to replace Fred Jones.
There, the ball's right on the money. You can see that's an awkward way to fall. Fortunately, he's okay now. He's running back across the field. Usually, you know, it's funny, you get used to people falling, and usually they land on their elbows or knees or butt. That's what you get used to. When they fall right on their chest, in that case, you can see his arms come up. That's very awkward, and that can really shake your insides. I know by experience.
Third down and 8. 6:36 time remaining, second quarter. Louisville 25, Alabama 7. Howard Schnellenberger and Gene Stallings, both assistants at the same time under Bear Bryant. They faced each other in the red-white game, a lot like this one, except it was spring football at Alabama. Nagel is going to keep, and he goes to the 45. Looks like he'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Stacey Harrison was there to stop him at the 45.
Of course, in the collegiate game, they don't have the slide rule like they do in pro football. And Browning Nagel would have been better advised not to slide there. If he'd have stuck his shoulder down, he would have got the first down, but he went for the slide. And as a result, he is about a yard short. So give the Alabama defense credit. They stopped him there. And look at Nagel looking at the sidelines, thinking about wanting to go for it.
I think they will go for it. It is 4th and 1.
Now, here's a history lesson for you. Remember a long time ago, Florida State and Penn State, and I believe it was the Orange Bowl. Penn State was up 17-0. They're on their own 15-yard line and decide that they're going to go for it.
Now they take a timeout to talk this over.
Well, give me a chance to finish this story here, and that was that they went for it on their own 15, thinking that they had the game well in hand. They didn't get it. Florida State went in and scored, and the game ended up tied at 17. So if Schnellenberger has any sense of history there, he might want to remember that. I'm not exactly sure what bowl game it was, but it was some 20 years ago.
Now the discussion.
I believe it was the Gator Bowl.
All right, here is Browning Nagel. Is he part of a long list of great quarterbacks in Louisville?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure that those names make the hairs rise in the back of your neck there.
Maybe he is the beginning of another long list.
Well, that could be. I think they did have one quarterback, though.
Oh, yes.
What was that guy's name again?
Johnny Unitas.
Ah, yes. Quarterback for the Steelers. Oh, no, the Steelers cut him. That's right.
That's right.
Amazing, isn't it? Look at that haircut. That's great. And oh, of course, the high-top shoes.
Top. And notice the number, and he just turned it upside down.
Very good. Isn't it interesting how things can be cyclical? You'll see a lot of high-top shoes out there today.
And Louisville is going for it at 4th and 1.
Remember the last time they went for it, Charlie? They got stuffed.
First down. Curtis Lipsy picks up the first down.
Charlie, this is a microcosm of a much bigger thing. This is not just a football game to the Louisville Cardinals. Not only are they representing the state of Kentucky and all of that in college football and all these melodramatic things, this is so much more important to Howard Schnellenberger. He told us that, interestingly enough, people don't realize that Louisville is within a day's drive of, I think it was 2/3 of the population in the United States. This is crucial to their recruiting program, the success of this game.
First down at the 47-yard line. Play action. Nagel rolling to his right. Throws downfield. Pass is complete to McKay. And it's a first down at the 30-yard line of Alabama. Stacey Harrison with the stop after 24 yards on the play. Ken McKay, the senior tight end, a graduate student, their clutch receiver, and his major is psychology.
And what's not to like about Ken McKay? What's not to like about the fact that he's a tight end? He graduated in psych. I know another tight end that graduated in psychology. In fact, one of my favorite players when I was in the pros.
That is very self-serving. And McKay is the one, when I introduced him to Todd, he said, "It's the legend. It's the legend." I said, "Oh, man, we're dead on that."
Well, of course. Well, and you know he's in graduate school, right? He's an extremely bright young man.
He really is.
Bingo!
Pass far side to AC. Cummings has it, and he is out at the 16-yard line. Gain of 13, and Louisville is moving again. McMillan with the tackle.
Charlie, the best game that Browning Nagel has had in his career is 310 yards, and he is fast approaching this. That's way too much respect for the speed of Cummings right here, and AC is able to make the catch. Happy young man. I got a big charge out of him.
Nagel now 12 of 20. He's thrown for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And you saw the Rose Bowl score. And here's the sweep to the right with Dawkins. And he'll go down at around the 10-yard line.
Boy, did Curtis Lipsey put a block on George Teague, enabling Dawkins to get up the field. Wow.
Harrison and Roxwell on the tackle.
He had him airborne. Take a look at number 20. Watch 13 come up to support. Watch the block that 20 puts on him if you can. Oh, he's out of the screen. Too bad. Whoa, there he is. Flying across the screen some 5 yards. Terrific block by Lipsey to open things up for Dawkins. Wow.
2nd and 4. And Lipsey gets the call here, and he will go to the 6-yard line. And that's going to be close to the first down. Curry with the tackle along with Stacey Harrison.
You know, the frustration of the Alabama defense is evident here. Nobody ever accused the Louisville Cardinals of having a terrific running game. But when they continue to get 4 and 5 yards a pop and push it down near the goal line, you can see the Alabama defense has to be tired because they've been on the field so much.
And officials timeout for the change to come in. And a reminder, stay with us here on NBC today. From the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl under the sunshine of Tempe, we'll be moving to the evening bomb of Miami, Florida, and the Federal Express Orange Bowl. It'll be number 1 Colorado and Notre Dame in the battle for the national championship.
You know, I was talking earlier, I believe it was with one of the people here at NBC. We were chatting about skating. Our producer, David Michaels, we were talking about how, you know, your entire career comes down to that 4 minutes in the Olympics. It's interesting for somebody like Browning Nagel, who has professional aspirations. A lot of people don't know him, aren't familiar with what he's done because they haven't necessarily been on national TV. Here he is with his one opportunity, his so-called 15 minutes, as Andy Warhol would say, to get his standing ovation, and he is doing it in then some.
And here is the reverse to Fred Jones. And he'll battle his way back to the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go as Eric Curry and Ephraim Thomas were there. Ephraim Thomas, number 5, by the way, the youngster at the kickoff luncheon on Friday who presented the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl with that great portrait of Martin Luther King. Made a nice presentation.
Yeah, he did. Very intelligent young man, 2-time all-conference selection for Alabama in the SEC.
And when he moved from corner to safety, that defense really came together. 2nd and goal. The 1-yard line is Curtis Lipsey and Ephraim Thomas, all SEC, again in on the tackle.
And he needed to make that tackle because that was a nice play fake. Everybody assumed that Nagel was going to go with the bootleg, and when Lipsey went inside, if Thomas doesn't make that tackle, it's 6.
And an Alabama player injured.
I think it's Derek Oden, Charlie.
Injured player is number 56 for Alabama, Derek Oden.
That would be a loss for them because Derek Oden, in talking to some of the coaches, felt like he's going to be the next great Alabama linebacker. They have a rich history. Leroy Jordan, Woody Lowe, and more recently, such names as Derek Thomas and Cornelius Bennett. Take a look at the shot that he takes to his noggin here. Derek Oden. He arrives in a bad mood. Right here, his own teammate. Bang! Head to head.
With Stacey Harrison.
Terrific shot there. Thanks, Peter. Peter Bleckner, our director, giving us that shot. Is a headbutt from his teammate there, Stacey Harrison. And now you know why they have those pads. Look at how his name is upright there. That's because of the neck brace that they wear to prevent such collisions. If he doesn't have that neck brace on, that might be a lot more serious. Derek Oden, a smaller, faster version of a Matt Millen, he looks like to me. He arrives in a bad mood. I like the way he tackles.
Just outside the 1, 3rd down, goal to go. You talked with Matt Millen last night on the phone on New Year's Eve, I understand. You wish him a happy New Year?
Heck no. Guy's the luckiest guy on the planet. Playing with that great team, getting cut from the Raiders. He doesn't need any happy New Year's.
Over the top, and Lipsy is crushed. John Sullins. Ephraim Thomas. Oh, they were up in the air waiting on him.
Bragg Rockwell on the outside as well right there has his legs. Nice job by number 41, and of course Sullins coming to finish him off. Great job from the corner, and that's going to force them to kick a field goal.
Sullins all SEC and the leading tackler for the Crimson Tide.
A field goal will be attempted.
Great play.
Surprising that you'd have two middle linebackers of that size. We saw that Oden at 216 and Sullins at only 210. That's very unusual. Inside backers run around 240 pounds in this league.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer with a 19-yard field goal attempt. Looks to me it's going to be 20 if he places it at the 10. And it is blocked. Antonio London, number 55, was in to make the block.
Earlier, you had a chance to see Holbrooks come in. Now look at London taking the rush from the back. This is legal in college football. He can run and jump, and sure enough, look at the vertical. Catches it right on the hand. In professional football, you can't do that anymore, but in college, it's all right. They push the lineman up. Look at, wow.
And remember, I mentioned earlier that in high school he was a 6'8" high jumper?
I'm telling you.
Now you know why.
London's got some hops.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, an undersized linebacker at 205.
So Alabama will take over at the 20-yard line, first down.
Slight shift of momentum here.
2:06 time remaining first half. Louisville leading 25-7. Hollingsworth is dropped at the 18. He'll lose a couple. It'll be second down. And Dan Gangwer with the 3rd sack of the ballgame for the Cardinals.
You know, Dan Gangwer is quite a student. I was interested to find out that one of his major subjects that he was interested in was World War II and Nazi Germany.
2nd and 11. They mark it at the 19.
I like to hear that. I like to read about young people being interested in history, understanding what got them to where they're at.
From the shotgun, knocked down. Turner, the intended receiver, but Brian Hayes made the play.
Not a terribly effective 2-minute offense at this point for Alabama.
3rd down and 11.
It's a frustrated coach right there, Gene Stallings. This isn't what he had in mind coming back to Phoenix.
Hollingsworth 5 of 13. He has thrown for only 26 yards and has been intercepted. Third and 11. Kevin Turner for a couple of yards. It'll be 4th down. Gangwer again with the tackle.
Heads up right there. John Gainey, the corner for the Louisville Cardinals, was able to get over to the official right away and call timeout to give Browning Nagel another shot at it with more than a minute remaining.
And that is their second timeout. Remember, they had one earlier when they discussed going on 4th and 1, so they have one remaining. And setting up for the return is Joey Smith, number 37. When we talked to him at the luncheon, remember, we asked how fast he was. He'd be looking in that sun. It's going to be a tough call. And he gave us about 5 different times. He had a head time, an AccuTrack time, a barefoot time, a downhill time. And they got better and better and better.
It was funny when you're interviewing him there, and he says, well, okay, you know, on grass I run 4.35, but on the AstroTurf I'm 4.29. Now, on the AccuTrack, I was timed at 4.37, but with a left-handed timer, I ran, you know, you're right, it was very funny. But as I recall, the slowest of the group was like 4.37,
oh, yeah.
So
he can fly.
This young man can go.
And also, he was on the dais as one of the Louisville players to be introduced, and he wasn't there, and so Mark Sander went down and got him out. He said, "I'll take care of it." So he went down and brought him up, and I asked him. He said, "Sometimes they don't tell me anything."
Man, if there's a free meal, I'm there in a big hurry.
Tank Williamson will be kicking. There's pressure again. It is short. Smith takes it at the 48 and is down at the 48-yard line. Louisville territory, a kick of only 31 yards. And again, it was Eric Washington, who's had a very good ball game on the special teams for Alabama down making the tackle. 1:13 left to go in the first half. And as you see, the Cardinals lead the Crimson Tide 25-7 in a major upset in the working. And the key has been the quarterback for the Cardinals, Browning Nagel, with a simply awesome first half. Nagel has completed 12 of 20. He has thrown for 275 yards. And now the straight shot up the middle. Here's Pete Bynum. And the ball pops loose, and Alabama has it. Lorenzo Mammy Ward, number 18, recovers the fumble.
Great call here. They're setting their pass defense, cuts up field. The ball is going to be stripped right there. Nice hit put on him there by Charles Gardner, who also had the interception for the touchdown earlier, and that enabled number 18, Lorenzo Ward, to make the recovery.
And so the Crimson Tide defense now has 3 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and the fumble recovery, and yet they still trail 25-7. Turnovers 4-2. Alabama from their own 39-yard line. First down. Just over a minute to go. Here's the middle screen to Turner. And the offense of Alabama having a difficult time getting anything going. Now they go without the huddle, the 2-minute offense.
Well, they've been a little predictable thus far. They got to take some chances here and get the ball down the field.
From the shotgun. Hollingsworth swings it out to the right side. This is Turner. And Turner down the sideline, dragging John Gainey with him, who is the best cover man for Louisville, and he picks up 10 on the play. And that'll be the first down. A little bit more than that.
I was going to say he's probably upset with himself that he didn't get out of bounds, but Alabama, with all of its timeouts, is able to call one right here.
They're going to mark it at the Louisville 43-yard line, first down. 33 seconds, time remaining in the first half. Howard Schnellenberger of the Louisville Cardinals. And here is a man who has made history in the Orange Bowl, and that's, of course, where we'll be going right after our ball game. The Federal Express Orange Bowl, number 1 Colorado against number 5 Notre Dame for the national championship. And also could be, no one knows for sure, but it could be the Rockets' final collegiate game. He may come out possibly for the supplemental draft. That has not been some. We've had some messages, some kind of sounds coming out of Miami. Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg have talked to him, and it is a possibility, but it's nothing more right now than a possibility, and perhaps something will be decided at the Orange Bowl itself. But it should be a great ball game.
One of the things that young men like this have to consider is their family. And, of course, Rocket Ismail comes from a one-parent household with a number of brothers. And so the finances are certainly a consideration, and not just for himself, but for his family.
First down at the Louisville 43. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Little swing right side. And it's Martin Houston on the receiving end. Tom Cavallo makes the tackle.
You know, at this point in the game, Gary Hollingsworth can't be concerned with interceptions. He's got to throw the ball up the field. I know that the game plan had short passes and things of this nature, but once you're down by 3 touchdowns, that's got to go out the window. With only 27 seconds left in the half, what difference does it make if you get an interception? You've got to take some chances and get up the field.
Second down. Kevin Lee comes wide to the near side, and he is the speedster, a freshman who won all kind of high school track awards.
Nice.
The pass goes to the other side, and that is Lamont Russell. He pulls it in for the first down. 15 yards, just outside the 30.
15 yards on the play, first down for Alabama. At the 31-yard line of the play.
It was Donnie Finkley on the receiving end. Now he goes downfield, and it is incomplete as he overthrows Lorenzo Cole.
Second and 10 from the 31-yard line of the Cardinals.
Gives him a chance to go over and talk with Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator, as to what to do next.
Second down and 10. Just outside the 30-yard line. 13 seconds left to go in the first half.
Might want to use that wide side of the field here. Give himself a chance. When you throw to the weak side of the field where the hash marks are set up in college football, you're cutting off 2/3 of the field. You might want to look left.
And again, the speedster Kevin Lee wide to this side. They hand off inside. Martin Houston, the ball carrier.
Number 48, Mark Sanders.
And Alabama stops the clock with 8 seconds left to go in the half. I'm surprised with that call.
I'm not surprised. I'm dumbfounded. I don't understand that at all. You know, you come up third, you come up second and 12, and you go to the fullback in the middle of the field. I understand the mentality, the surprise tactic here, but what if he does get the first down? The clock might run out in the time it takes for him to get the run.
Eight seconds, time remaining, first half of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Louisville 25, Alabama 7. I know we've had some one-sided scores in the bowl games today, but I'm not sure we've seen as big a surprise as we've seen in the first half here, engineered by this man, Howard Schnellenberger, the Louisville Cardinals. Their record is 9-1-1. And when we asked him about a national championship, he said we're there, but I think what he was really saying, we're almost there. We are so very, very close to operating continually on that level. And of course, that's what he wants to do.
Well, the quote that keeps making the papers from Howard Schnellenberger with regards to a national title is that it is going to come through Louisville. The only variable is time.
Hollingsworth throws, pass is incomplete, stops the clock with 4 seconds now to go. Quickly the intended receiver. And let's review the scores of the bowl games that we were talking about. Michigan over Mississippi in the Gator Bowl, 35-3. Clemson shuts out Illinois, 30-0. Georgia Tech over Nebraska, 45-21. Miami destroys Texas, 46-3 in the Cotton Bowl. And here it is, Louisville 25, Alabama 7. And a 49-yard field goal attempt by Philip Doyle. And he is now 0 for 2. Doyle missing from 46, and now from 49 as the first half comes to a close with the score, the Louisville Cardinals 25, the Alabama Crimson Tide 7. And this the 20th edition of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. And now let's go to Bob Costas. Bob?
Thank you, Charlie. Happy New Year again, everyone, and welcome back to Miami's Orange Bowl as we continue our coverage of this Championship Tuesday. Coming up, we'll be joined by Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and Bob Trumpy as we look ahead to tonight's Colorado-Notre Dame game. And just ahead, we'll go back to the Fiesta Bowl for the much-talked-about halftime show honoring American patriots, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. First, a check of the other bowl games on this New Year's Day, beginning with the Gator Bowl played in Jacksonville, Florida. The 12th-ranked Michigan Wolverines prevailed easily over the Mississippi Rebels, which came in ranked number 15. 35-3 the final score. The Big Ten co-champions win it easily. Mississippi with its record of 9-2 coming in, its best mark since Archie Manning was their quarterback in 1971, but they go down by 32 points, 35-3. In the Hall of Fame Bowl in Tampa, Florida, Illinois, the only team to defeat Colorado this year, beat them 23-22 early in the season, loses to the Clemson Tigers by a score of 30-0. Clemson completely dominating the game, their quarterback Deshane Cameron throwing for 2 touchdowns. In the Florida Citrus Bowl, and this is big, Georgia Tech positions themselves to win the national championship if Notre Dame beats Colorado tonight. The Yellow Jackets beat Nebraska 45-21. William Bell ran for 127 yards. Sean Jones threw for nearly 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The Yellow Jackets, whose record is marred only by a tie earlier this year against North Carolina, finish 11-0-1, and they would have a legitimate claim to the national title if Colorado stumbles tonight against Notre Dame. We'll talk with Georgia Tech coach Bobby Ross a little bit later. The Miami Hurricanes all over the Texas Longhorns at the Cotton Bowl, 46-3. Craig Erickson throws for 272 yards and 4 touchdowns. Texas had won 9 in a row since losing to Colorado, 29-22. Miami finishes with 6 consecutive victories. They had come in ranked number 4. They finished 10-2. Texas also 10-2, began the day ranked number 3. And in the Rose Bowl, the 8th-ranked Washington Huskies have the lead over the Big Ten co-champion Iowa Hawkeyes. This one is late in the second quarter, and Don James' club is in front of Hayden Fry's team, 19-7. Coming up, we go back to the Fiesta Bowl for halftime. That's next after these messages from your local station.
Thursday, it's an all-new season of fun on the best night of television. Cosby's back.
That's the fellow I'm in love with.
And it's all new. Then it's Blossom, the new comedy where anything can happen.
Hi, Mom.
Felicia Rashad guest stars on a special Blossom premiere. And it's an all-new Cheers in the new year with...
a bunch of deadbeats and freeloaders.
Yeah, you don't want people like that in here.
And the bar is welcoming new neighbors.
Cheers to Wings.
The hit comedy Wings moves to its new night, Thursday, after Cosby, Blossom, and Cheers, only on NBC.
The waiting is over. It's bowl time.
This week at Kroger, save on Charmin bath tissue, just 79 cents for the 4-roll pack. Limit 2, please. Plus 3 1-liter bottles of regular or diet Big K soft drinks, 99 cents. And Pringle snacks, $1.19 for the 6-ounce canister.
You recently told us you wanted solutions to your financial needs presented in a clear and understandable way. So, in response to your requests, First National makes your decision-making a lot easier and more convenient with an innovative system that lets you compare your financial options. Plus, the expert help of professionals who never forget the most important element of all, personal service.
First National Bank.
Coming through for you.
Louisville's best-kept secret in commercial interiors just may be the Business Environments Group. Their 7 designers make the best use of people, facilities, and technology to create efficient, productive office space. The Business Environments Group draws from over 200 manufacturers, including Hahn, makers of the Consensus Open Office System. Hahn Consensus is the ultimate value solution to office space planning. Whatever your business, whatever the size of your office, Hahn and the Business Environments Group have the design solution for you.
Wave 3 First News, working in the spirit of wave country.
There at halftime in Tempe, Arizona, in the Fiesta Bowl, the score, Louisville 25 and the Crimson Tide of Alabama 7. With the controversy surrounding the Martin Luther King holiday in Arizona, the biggest news today was the lack of any of the expected pregame protests or demonstrations outside the stadium. Only the more positive petition effort aimed at getting the proposition back on a future ballot in a different and more understandable form. Gail Gardner has been at the Fiesta Bowl all day, and we go back to her now. Gail?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. We do have a special halftime tribute coming up, and joining with me is John Junker, who's the executive director of the Fiesta Bowl. And John, I'd like to ask you, obviously the Martin Luther King situation has impacted on the entire state, and I'd like to know from your point of view in this halftime ceremonies, what pressures were brought to bear on you to deal with this in a proper sort of way?
I think most of the pressures, Gail, were really internal. We wanted to be sure that we treated this issue sensitively and made it a starting point for a 1991 that Arizonans can be proud of, so we could make a positive statement to get this state moving forward. I think we've done that today, and I think here in the stadium and across America, people will see that and agree on that.
Okay. Was there a very fine line that you had to walk here?
We wanted to make sure that we put Dr. King's contributions in perspective of a long history of American patriots who have made their contributions to American civil liberties, and we've done that today. The high emotional point of this halftime will be that, and we're very excited and very proud to have 1,500 Arizonans out there on the field doing that.
All right, it's time to take a look at that program. So we bring to you now Celebrate America.
Ladies and gentlemen, B.J. Thomas and Chuck Jackson.
With open arms reaching wide, she welcomed us inside. From different worlds, she brought us all together. With hopes and dreams, we'd have our turn, but we had much to learn. And as we grew, it wasn't all fair weather.
I know not what course others take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Patrick Henry.
But through the years of sweat and tears, one truth remained the same. Red and yellow, black and white, we're proud to share her name.
This nation shall have a new birth of freedom. This government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln.
And come the time to defend her, we'll be there hand in hand. We are the children she can count on, the heartbeat of this land. We'll be there from the cities, we'll be there from the country, yeah. Standing up for America, from sea to shining sea, shining sea.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by
show, Celebrate America, has been sponsored by AT&T Computer Systems and Micro-Age Computer Centers, specializing in network computing solutions for your business. Our score is Louisville 25 and Alabama 7. And Bob Costas will be back with today's scores and highlights after these messages from your local station.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You can't go down there!
That's me, it's
Come back!
The dream is alive. Dark Shadows, the motion picture, coming to NBC Sunday, January 13th.
1920. America was taking to the road, and a booming Kentucky automobile industry was producing more than 24 makes of cars, like this Minuteman 6. With 24 horsepower, it would clip along at 45 miles per hour, proudly saying, "Look what we're doing in Kentucky now." Pride of accomplishment. It has powered the people of this region and one of her banks for over 136 years. There are banks, and there is liberty.
Happy New Year from Wave 3, your official Fiesta Bowl station.
All right, Championship Tuesday continues from the Orange Bowl on NBC. Later tonight, it's the #1 ranked Colorado Buffaloes against #5 Notre Dame. Will McDonough has joined us. Now, Georgia Tech, as we know, has already beaten Nebraska. They're in position to win the national championship. If Notre Dame defeats Colorado tonight, it would appear that the Irish's chances have been eliminated by Georgia Tech's victory, and now it's just between the Buffaloes and the Yellow Jackets. But I know that you spent some time this week talking with 10 pro personnel directors from around the NFL to get their evaluations of the teams, which might be a little bit different than the AP media poll or the UPI coaches poll.
Yeah, Bob, the big difference is how they rated Georgia Tech, but you got to look at this from the eyes of pro people who are thinking strictly about talent. You know, what they did is I asked them, give me your top 10, and then I compile a tabulation. They love Colorado. That's the AP poll right there. Now, this is their poll. Love Colorado, had Notre Dame second, Miami third, okay? Notice they gave 5 of the 10 first-place votes went to Colorado, and they had Georgia Tech further down the line. But now you can see why if you look at this. 1 first-place vote for Georgia Tech, and they had Georgia Tech 6. But again, looking at it from the prospect of talent, I said to them, how many guys in these teams, you know, Miami, Colorado, Notre Dame, these are the 3 teams that would have the most, call it, pro talent playing today, guys who would be seniors who would be drafted. Conversely, Georgia Tech, they said, had only 1 senior who they would consider a top prospect in the draft next year.
So for that reason, looking at it simply from the standpoint of who they'd be interested as pro prospects, they had Georgia Tech 6th.
That's right. And I think today what really helped is the way Clemson played. Here you are. Colorado had 9, Notre Dame 7, Miami 7, Washington 6. Georgia Tech ranked #2 in the polls. Only 1 guy that would really be considered a top prospect.
Well, in any case, the second-ranked Yellow Jackets kept their national title hopes alive today by decisively beating Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl. And after the game, Coach Bobby Ross of Georgia Tech made a case for his team's championship qualifications. Here it is.
I feel like we deserve it right now, to be very honest with you. I'm not going to gloat over it or wave a flag for it or anything of that nature, but, you know, I mean, I think we've done what we had to do. I think the strength of our conference is attested by the fact, I don't know, didn't Clemson win decidedly over Illinois? You know, and I think that a lot of people have been underrating our conference a lot of the time. I'm not going to go out and wave a flag over it, but, I mean, we are the only undefeated football team in the country, and we did win.
Well, O.J. Simpson has spent the day with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and earlier he caught up with some of their players at the team hotel. Here's the juice.
All right, Bob. I'm here at the room of Chris Zorich, the Lombardi Award-winning nose tackle from Notre Dame. Let's see what they're up to before the game.
Oh!
Hey, Chris, OJ.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Hey, we just cleaned up. Why don't you come have a seat?
Just cleaned up, huh? This is cleaning up. You're looking at a nose tackle room here, Bob. You know, you guys treat Colorado the way you treated this room. You should have no trouble. I see Mike Stonebreaker, All-American linebacker, and finalist for the Buckus Award. Now, you didn't get to play in this game last year. Did that make this game more important to you, any added significance?
Yeah, it does. You know, we want to come back. We want to play hard here. I didn't get to play last year. I was sitting in my living room watching the game, and we had a good week of practice, so I'm ready to play.
Chris, you were a thorn in this team's side last year. I remember on the sideline they couldn't run the ball up the middle. Now, if you watched them on film, are they any different this year? Are they better this year than they were last year?
The biggest asset that they have now is that they have an experienced offensive line. They played very well together this year.
Do you have any thoughts about this being your last game at Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you guys, I'm coming back for a fifth.
Is that a new rule that they have at Notre Dame?
And no, see, as a matter of fact, I was kind of hurt my freshman year, so I'm thinking about applying again this year.
You guys don't seem too nervous about this game tonight.
We are. See?
Well, Bob, what can I tell you? That's the story here at the Notre Dame Hotel.
All right, Juice, try not to step on the cold pizza on the floor by the closet on your way out. Bob Trumpy has been with the top-ranked Colorado Buffaloes today, and he's here now in the Orange Bowl. Trump?
Thanks, Bob. The Colorado Buffaloes are in the Orange Bowl. I don't know if you believe in omens, but this is the same locker room they had last year. Bill Mcfadden took his team to an undisclosed hotel last night looking for a way to get away from distractions. Everything was fine except that this morning about 9:30, they had a walkthrough defensively out on the field. And coming back into the hotel, 6 of them got on an elevator. It was stuck for 20 minutes. So I don't know if any of those guys suffer from claustrophobia, but they're heading for the locker room here at the Orange Bowl, and they look serious. Robert.
All right, Trump, thanks very much. A score update. Still in the second quarter at the Rose Bowl. The Washington Huskies extend their lead over the Iowa Hawkeyes now to 33-7. They're getting set for the second half at the Fiesta Bowl, Louisville and Alabama. We'll be back with you just prior to the kickoff of Colorado and Notre Dame from here at the Orange Bowl. And here are the Fighting Irish arriving a few moments ago. The national championship is at stake. Not for Notre Dame realistically now, but certainly for Colorado. For now, we send you back to Charlie Jones in Tempe, Arizona.
I can't hear Chuck.
Here at the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl at halftime, the score, the Louisville Cardinals 25. The Alabama Crimson Tide 7. And now let's go down to Gail Gardner on the sideline. Gail?
All right, Charlie, thank you very much. Just want to clear up a little misconception that had taken place about the halftime show. There were a lot of things in print, a lot of people believing that the entire show was going to be devoted to the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King, and that was never the case. The Fiesta Committee had, in fact, intended to make that part of the larger show that you saw. And in general, just to wrap up what's happened here in terms of Martin Luther King and the Martin Luther King Day, there was, in fact, just one form of protest, and that had to do with the petition drive that you saw earlier today. Petition drive to get enough signatures to send to the legislature to try to enact a paid Martin Luther King Day holiday in the state of Arizona. So that's basically the Martin Luther King Day story from the Fiesta Bowl. Let's go back upstairs to Charlie.
All right, thank you, Gail. One of the nice things about the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is the weather here in Tempe, Arizona. A little bit different than we had last week, Todd, because we had a couple of days with rain and overcast. I know at the luncheon, Gene Stallings was talking about the fact that he told his youngsters, don't worry about bringing your umbrellas, don't bring your rain gear. And he said, well, I was dead wrong. But it certainly has turned out to be a beautiful day.
Yes, it has. You know, it was anything but the Valley of the Sun the last couple of days, but right now it looks good. And of course, especially for Louisville, the sun is really shining bright.
And I'm just wondering, as we have a few moments before the kickoff of the second half, how everybody in our audience spent New Year's Eve. How did you spend New Year's Eve last night?
Well, I spent New Year's Eve very relaxed. You know, we had a meeting. I watched a little Monday Night Football, got myself something to eat, and because of the fact that I had to help my son with his papers early yesterday morning, I was really tired. So I actually fell asleep before midnight.
Well, I did manage to make it to midnight, and I stepped out on the balcony overlooking the gorgeous Tempe, Phoenix area, the Valley of the Sun. It was a clear, beautiful night with the stars shining and the moon out, and you could hear the celebrations and the horns honking and the fireworks. And then I went in and went to bed.
And you know what? It figures that you'd get the room with the view.
That's
I knew
right.
it. Seniority once again.
All right, now let's get back to football and a couple of highlights out of the first half. And the highlights are all going to be the Louisville Cardinals, because they certainly did dominate play.
Well, of course, particularly Browning Nagel. He just had the half of his life throwing for 275 yards. It seems like everything that he threw was in the arms of receivers. Touchdowns. We get a chance to see Cummings going to the post literally and figuratively right here. Take a look at the safety vacating the middle of the field. Here he comes. And Nagel leads him perfectly. Look at how he barely even breaks stride. Catching it right on the 5, and then the 5 catches the post right here. Thank goodness for that padding, and Cummings is okay.
And at that point, the Cardinals went up by a score of 19-0. And again, this youngster Nagel, and Howard Schellenberger, the head coach of Louisville, talked to us about this. He said, if I would have had him for 4 years, he was at West Virginia for a couple of years, and they changed from a passing team to an option team, and so he came to Louisville, who had recruited him earlier. Schnellenberger said, if I had had him for 4 years, they would know about him just like they knew about Jim Kelly when he had him in Miami.
Truthfully, when he said that, I was very cynical. Yeah. You know, coaches are prone to hyperbole, but after watching this first half, I might agree with you.
Yeah, I think that you have to agree with him over what he's done the first half. Howard Schnellenberger, he has turned the program around in the last 5.5 years. When he came to Louisville, even Gene Stallings said it was the worst football program in the nation. And now he was here, and what does he do that moment in the locker room before they come out in the biggest ball game in the history of Louisville? Let's listen in. This was taped just before the ball game.
Any idea the strength that's down inside this football team? They don't have any idea.
No way.
They don't have any idea what you put into this thing. They don't have any idea that it means more to you than it does to them. They don't have any idea what it means to us. That's fine. Now there comes the time to play. The beauty of it is you're trained to do it, you're proficient at it, you're experienced at it, and you've done it. Relax, go out and turn it loose. Relax, go out and turn it loose. Do that just like you've done it. The end will take care of itself. If they ever think about the score, first play to the last.
Seniors, the last go around. Come on.
Think about the next play.
Don't you love that voice? It's like at the bottom of the barrel. Now, in the first part of the ball game, we talked about the tradition versus the dream. The tradition of Alabama, they expect to come to a bowl game. They almost always come to a bowl game. They've been to more bowl games than any other college in the history of football in the United States. Now, for Louisville, it's a dream. A dream, and right now the dream is winning.
Well, you know what? I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, for Alabama, this is just another bowl game. This is the 33rd in the last 34 years for Alabama to be in a bowl game. For Louisville, this is the first. They've only been to 3 bowl games in their history, and this is the first time in the last 13 years. So as the first half would indicate, clearly this means a heck of a lot more to Louisville than it does to Alabama.
But from Alabama's side, now they do have their tradition, and this year it did not bode well at the beginning of the season. They opened 0-3. Gene Stallings said, you would be amazed at the number of suggestions that I had. You would think that I didn't even go to practice, that I did not know who to play. And then they turned that program around, and now I have a feeling that during halftime, they will make another turn, and Alabama will get right back to the ballgame in the second half.
I think one of the things that Gene Stallings said to us that I thought was very poignant is he said that unlike a lot of the other coaches after Bear Bryant, he is not afraid of Bear Bryant's shadow. And clearly he showed that after going 0-3, he could have given up the ship. He could have complained about the fact that, hey, where's all the talent that Alabama is used to? Where's this tradition? Where are the hard-nosed people? But he didn't. They stuck it out. They won 7 of the last 8 games, and it's a credit to him and the Alabama organization that they're here today.
And another thing about the Alabama organization is that when you take a look at all the youngsters that they have here, and they've brought more than 100 players, is that almost 70% of them are from the state of Alabama. And that is different than almost any other program in the nation.
And that's a lot of credit to Gene Stallings. And I think that the key for him this particular year was in defeating Auburn. Now it's going to help him in the recruiting phase, but now he can get even more of those kids.
Meanwhile, Louisville continues to upgrade their program. We'll take a look at the future schedules just to give you an idea. This is the 1990 schedule, the one they finished. Murray State, Kansas, Tulsa, Memphis State, Western Kentucky, Cincinnati, Boston College. And now the teams that they will be facing in the future: Tennessee, Ohio State, Florida State, Arizona State, Syracuse, Florida, and Virginia. So it becomes an ongoing process of what Howard Schnellenberger and organization have done at Louisville.
Well, one of the things that we didn't mention at the outset is it was Ted Washington who came up with a great idea. You know, their record was 9-1-1, and so the clever thing that he had was he said, dial 911. Well, a lot of people said, yeah, big deal. Look at who you beat to get 9-1-1. Play some teams. Well, as indicated by what we just saw there in the schedule over the next 2-3 years, they will play some real teams and show that they're for real, just as they're doing today, I believe.
And they certainly have indicated that in the first half, because it has been this man, number 7, Browning Nagel, who has completely dominated the first half. 12 of 20, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And if before the first day of 1991 you had not heard of this college quarterback, believe me, after this day is over, not only will you have heard about him, but so will all of the scouts in the National Football League.
You know, it's funny, Charlie, when I had a chance to talk with him a little bit away from all the natural interviews and the things that are, or I should say the unnatural interviews and the forced, contrived things that the media puts on them, he says, hey, Todd, he says, what are the teams around the league, the NFL, that really need a quarterback? I mean, he really wanted to know. So we went over him, and of course, I'm kind of patronizing him, saying to myself, yeah, right, Browning, sure, you're going to get drafted. I tell you what, if there are some pro scouts that are in the stands today, their eyes have been awakened to the reality of this young man's arm. This man has a gun.
Well, they said that. You know, one of the things they said is that now he can, on one knee, throw the ball 70 yards in the air. They've had some contests with some of the coaches. He has that kind of an arm, and we saw it a couple of flashes of it where he wasn't particularly on balance, but he didn't have to step forward, and he just kind of flicks it 40 or 50 yards downfield.
Well, I don't want to get caught up too much in his arm strength. That's a given. No, but I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he does have, he's got a bazooka. But the thing that he also does is that he rolls out. He showed us some great feet, some quick feet, and he also sees the second, third, and fourth receivers, which is, I think, crucial to the success of a quarterback, particularly in the National Football League.
Now, Nagel's career best is 374 yards in a ball game. That was against Tulsa in 1989, and he will be gunning for that personal high. But more so than that, he is gunning for the victory in what this is only the 4th bowl appearance by Louisville. In 1958, they won in the Sun Bowl, defeating Drake. In 1970, remember the Pasadena Bowl? They tied Long Beach. And in 1977, they lost to Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl. So their bowl record is 1-1-1. But now, I think that what they have shown already has established them as a power in the collegiate ranks, because it's certainly going to help in their recruiting.
Well, Howard Schnellenberger, when he got up on the dais for our Sunkist Fiesta Bowl luncheon, one of the first things he said was that he wanted to thank Gene Stallings for coming here and affording Louisville the opportunity. And at the time, I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, that's what coaches have to say, right? But in reality, I think that's what he meant. For giving them a chance to take on the tradition of an Alabama really bodes well for the success of the program there in Louisville. And Howard Schnellenberger has to be extremely happy the way things have gone thus far.
Just taking a look at him here.
He looks like a football coach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just does.
And you know, it's hard to recognize him though without the pipe. And he has a special Cardinal blend of tobacco. I tell you, the man has it all going for him.
Yeah, well, that's all well and good. I just want to be in the same room with him when he's smoking. There it is. What is it now called? Go ahead. Come on. You said. I said you could keep it.
No, I give it back.
Come on, say it.
No.
The Louisville Lindy.
And Ron Bell will be kicking off. As he
looks like a linebacker.
He is a linebacker. And watch him. He'll go down and he'll make the tackle, too. And here's Lorenzo Cole on the return to the 24-yard line. Joey Smith makes the tackle. And the numbers for Gary Hollingsworth in the first half, very modest compared to Browning Nagel's. 9 of 19, 56 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Had a chance to visit with him after practice the other day. And it's been a very tough year for him because last year, a year ago, now 2 years ago because we were in 91, he had a great season. He was expecting great things of himself and as a team. But as we documented the first half, you know, he lost his key running back, 2 great receivers, and an offensive lineman. That makes it tough for a quarterback. He hands off to Junior Sewell, who goes to the 30 as 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 as Mcfadden makes the tackle.
Well, it just goes to show that it is very true. The quarterback gets too much of the blame and the quarterback gets too much of the credit. Certainly in 1989, everybody was caught up in what Hollingsworth had done, but in reality, he had a lot of people around him. Now, clearly that was the case. And of course, the tendency in 1990 is to say, look at that, it's Hollingsworth's fault. He's the guy that's having the problems, but hey, you know, his supporting cast has a lot to do with that.
And there's the comparison of 89 to 90. Junior Sewell. He'll get a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3. Ted Washington and Mike Flores team up for the tackle for the Louisville Cardinals. And you saw Hollingsworth just glancing at his wrist again. The numbering system is flashed into him. If it's play number 14, like his number on the jersey, he goes down, looks 14, and he's got it, makes the call. And they can use up to 99 plays with their numbering system, the way they flash the numbers in. Dan Gangler of Fremont, Ohio, was there for the Cardinal defense, and he just stood up Junior Sewell.
Boy, there's a lot to be said for getting stuck in a rut. I know that prior to this game, Alabama had been very conservative offensively, but here you are down 18 points. You have a 3rd and 5, and you go to your fullback in the middle. I don't understand that.
Joey Smith at the 30-yard line. 35. Has about 11 yards on the return to the 41-yard line.
10-yard return.
Craig Harris makes a tackle, 40 yards on the kick, 11 yards on the return. 13-10 is the time remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
and the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments,
We might look great bald.
and you decide you want hair, there's only one thing to do. See your doctor, or call this number for more information.
Oh, 5 more minutes. It's our anniversary. Let's call in sick.
Can't.
Oh, 10 years deserves something.
True.
Haven't I made you coffee for 10 years?
Haven't I had to drink it? Now, come on.
Why?
Show your friends this. Happy anniversary.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. This year, tell her you'd marry her all over again.
Okay, I'll show him. Tomorrow.
Today, more people than ever are getting a kick out of this hot shot. Interstate batteries hit the road fast with all the cranking power and reserve energy you need for even the worst curves in the weather. And Interstate has twice as many dealers than any other battery company in America, so you're never left stranded. For an Interstate battery dealer near you,
All you got to do, call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
The 1991 Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by the Sunkist family of fresh citrus. It's the highest in quality. You have our word on it. By Interstate Batteries, now #1 with over 180,000 dealers across the U.S. and Canada. By the Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Domino's Pizza. Hot, fresh, delicious pan pizza. Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Louisville's first opportunity in the second half. Nagel scrambles and throws. The pass is complete to AC, but he was past the line of scrimmage. If it would stand, it'd be 59 yards. And meanwhile, Browning Nagel is arguing his case back at the 41-yard line, and he is going to lose that argument. He was
The side judge did an excellent job of putting down his beanbag right where Brownie Nagel stood and threw the ball. That's a good call by the official there. Brownie Nagel didn't get robbed.
The linesman is A.B. Elliott, and the line judge is Edwin Jackson. The referee is Dale Phillips. And this will make it official. Up, turn it on. Good. The battery's dead. Loss him down. Second down.
It's right on the line is where it is. Let's see where he ends up. Right at about the 35. Now watch where he scrambles. Where does this ball come? Excuse me, at the 40-yard line. Now it's where he ends up. Oh my goodness.
That is closer from that angle.
It's where his feet ended up.
I still think it's a good call, and I'll tell you why I think it's a good call. Because when he threw it, I immediately looked at the down marker, and he was past it. And that, that's just that's the angle from the end.
Well, of course, the argument on that point would be that they would say that it's where he threw it and not where he ended up. But you've got a point.
Third is Lipsy. Lipsy to the 50, the 45, the 40-yard line. At the Alabama 40, a gain of 24 yards, first down.
You know what's impressive about Browning Nagel is once again Alabama tries to blitz him, but he picks it up right away and he gets to his blitz control guy, which is Lipsy. Makes a nice cut right there, breaking the tackle of Teague. Cuts up the field for the extra yardage, a 24-yard gain.
And Louisville with the ball at the Alabama 40-yard line. Lipsy, a slasher type of runner, and he is the one that the Cardinals will use in short yardage if they want him to go over the top.
Cut back! Go, baby, go!
And here's Lipsy, and a flag is down.
Flag on play, ball carrier number 23,
Steve Webb with the tackle.
If you're going to hold somebody, make sure it's in the middle. Pete Berkey was totally exposed to the referee, and he grabbed the foot of George Thornton, and the referee saw it.
Webb holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
At the mic working. 12:25 time remaining, third quarter. It's Louisville 25 and Alabama 7. Louisville scored all 25 points in the first quarter, and they led 25-0 at the end of the first period.
Alabama had a chance to get back into it after Gardner ran back the interception for a touchdown during the two series when Brom was quarterback. They certainly could have had the momentum go their way and do some different things, but they weren't able to capitalize after that. And now Louisville's got their main man back at the controls, right at 300 yards passing for the day.
First and 20 at the 50-yard line.
Hold him out, hold him out, twist!
Nagel, only a three-man rush by Alabama, has to dump it off to Dawkins. And he's not going to make anything. Ephraim Thomas with a stop.
Big hit by Thomas, moves him backwards.
Second and 20, and again Alabama using that three-man rush that has been so successful.
Part of the problem, though, Charlie, is they haven't been able to get to him. If they were going to get to him, I'd say it's a good strategy, but so far they haven't really been able to pressure Browning Nagel, and he's been able to find the open receiver.
And he fires on target to McKay, and McKay to the 15-yard line. 35 yards, Gardner with the tackle.
Exactly what happened there. They rush with three people, and they go back into their zones. And McKay is able to find the seam right in the middle. Take a look at the cavern right in the middle that Browning Nagel sees. Look at him rifle that ball. McKay with a nice catch, cuts up the field. Shows good speed for a tight end. Yeah, he does remind me of me. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
He was thrilled to visit with you. Boy, he is something else. Very, very smart young man. Interesting. Sounds a little bit like a coach. I kept saying that he was programmed by computer.
Sounds to me like a psychologist or a physician.
I think you're
very
right.
bright.
Yes, he is. Here's Dawkins. And Dawkins is taken out at the 9-yard line.
The flag down to the play.
Back at the 15 on the near side. Derek Oden with the tackle.
From the 9-yard line.
And Dawkins slow to get up. Well, he's still down. And here is Ralph Dawkins, the freshman from Jacksonville, 5'9", 207 pounds.
He's been doing yeoman's work today. He's really provided a lot of the rushing yards for the Louisville Cardinals.
We'll take a look to see what happened to him. He's very shy off of the field, but on the field, he's a real cheerleader.
Can't be a illegal procedure on the offense. If you saw the left foot when it planted right there, it also caught his knee as well. It was an awkward way. All the weight was on his right foot. That's painful.
We have an injury timeout. The score, Louisville 25 and Alabama 7.
Let me please put the squeeze on you. Just a little squeezing, that's all I want to do. Wrap my fingers round you. Ooh, baby, let me put the squeeze on you.
Sunkissed Lemon adds to everything but your waist.
Now you can enjoy the drink that's been on every Russian space mission. Sputnik, made with 10% real beet juice and 20...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and go.
What do you think? How can Americans save 7.5 million gallons of gasoline a day? Carpool. And it can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Let's put our energy into saving it.
As we enjoy this great American tradition, college football, let's salute all the student athletes, all those men and women who are working hard toward their academic degrees. They know that the NCAA Foundation is committed to helping them graduate, to get ahead in the game of life. They know that the only way to compete off the field is to stay in school. So enjoy the competition, but get your degree.
The place to be early on Super Sunday is with the NBA on NBC. The LA Lakers, the Boston Celtics. Basketball's most classic rivalry is renewed in venerable Boston Garden. It's Magic and Bird once again. The NBA on NBC. There's magic in the air.
As we come back to play, it is 1st and 15 at the 20-yard line. And we have some jumping by an Alabama lineman, but no flags.
We got him.
And here is where for a yard, and that's going to be about it. Ralph Dawkins was assisted to, now an Alabama player is down. Ralph Dawkins was assisted to the sideline and is being worked on the Louisville bench. And this is Byron Holbrooks who is down. There's Dawkins. He, by the way, is the first freshman to ever lead Louisville in rushing. And let's go back now and see if we can see what happened to Holbrooks.
There he is lining up at the left tackle. That looked like offsides there.
Yes.
Take a look at the legs right here. Well, you can't tell from that. It doesn't look like anything really happened, but.
No, but Robert Stewart really got a jump, and they didn't drop a flag. Let's go down to Tom Hammonds, huh?
Charlie, no mood of panic in the Alabama locker room at halftime. It was interesting, though, that they made no major adjustments to their defense, which was riddled in that first half. They simply talked about executing their present scheme, and it looks like more of the same. Louisville has moved the ball to start the second half. Charlie?
Tom, is that a Christmas tie?
It depends on which Christmas we're observing here. In the Far East, purple ties are big.
You look very dapper.
Thank you, sir.
You look very dapper. We've got 10 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. We're in the third quarter in a ball game that has been dominated by this man, Browning Nagel.
And I don't understand that. Why wouldn't they adjust their defense? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, they just got shelled for something like 250 yards in the first half. A defense that was supposed to be first in the nation against the pass. That's got to tell you that something isn't working right. You got to make some adjustments.
Holbrooks being assisted on. And there's the national ranking coming into the ball game with the Crimson Tide. 3rd overall, 6 against rushing, 1st against the pass. 2nd and 14. Nagel, a pump fake, goes to the end zone to AC. And Cummings has his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. 19 yards. His 12th of the season.
Boy, he is something. Corner route, Just makes a nice move. It's actually not that bad a coverage. He has Teague there by a step. Pump fake, and he lofts it right up. Nice soft touch right here. Look at Teague, just misses it. Right on the end line. Terrific throw. Nice catch, too, by AC.
And the extra point attempt by Bell. 32-7 Louisville.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee is one of the 10 most significant events in the history of the plain paper copier industry.
South Florida controls the opening tip.
Environmentalist. But today's journey is propelled by another passion, to return to the land of his forebears. In Rob's hands, this return has a flip side. This is One Man in a Boat on Travels.